Hi everyone, good afternoon. Half an hour to coffee. Can you stay awake? The clapping is getting softer, so good to check. Okay, thanks for having me here. My name is Manish. I work for the channel business for AdWords, the reseller program for Google in India. My colleague Anant is here as well. Some of you had an opportunity to meet him yesterday. So I'm going to just touch on a lot of the stuff that I know you can Google, right? But I'll just put it in context because every one of you here in this room is really, really important to what we're trying to do for small and medium businesses in the country and globally. Shopify is a really, really important partner for us in many facets, again, across the world. And I'm sure there'd be some of you here who'd be really interested in the last slide, because that's got our contact details in case you all want to do some kind of partnership with us. And for the rest, anyway, directly or indirectly, you'll be doing a lot of stuff with Google. So I think the whole story around going digital, going online, is a huge opportunity for businesses. Everybody knows that. It comes with its challenges. And we are trying to simplify that journey. We are trying to make it as inclusive as possible. The impact of internet is reaching a really high decibel. You will find that by 2020, there'll be almost 300 to 400 million more businesses, individuals who are going to go online. And really, there are three factors that are feeding this frenzy in India, right? Devices are becoming cheaper, smartphones, data is getting even cheaper. I think if you just see what Reliance did to the market, it just changed the entire landscape in less than 3-4 months now. And then, of course, video is the big thing that's taking over as well. So if you look at device, 500 million smartphones by 2020. You can see all the big sales that are hitting the markets, Chinese OEMs, Indian OEMs, everybody else thrown into the mix. Nokia's probably hit some of its finest numbers after they relaunched in the market, all of that being driven by India. And of course, a few years ago, you couldn't have imagined a smartphone with 4G coming to you at less than 10,000 rupees. So these are all big things that are helping digitization. Data is the second big driver, right? Again, 2 years ago, you wouldn't have imagined prices like 10 rupees for a GB of data. And then there's a lot of stuff that companies like Google also do in the ecosystem to get more people online. Interestingly, a lot of people had speculated that whenever Reliance is done with the bleed in the telecom sector, they'll probably bleed their profits away as well. That didn't happen. 66% retention of people who migrated from free data to paid data. Online video is now mainstream, right? If you look at it, there's more than 300% growth on online video streaming. A lot of that is uploaded content, and then again, 65% of that is consumed on mobile phones. E-commerce, again, still in infancy if you compare it to a lot of developed markets, right? But then growing really, really rapidly. It's anyone's guess. Amazon has its own claims, so does Flipkart and everybody else. But that number is, nobody is doubting in terms of the fact that it's going to really, really explode. And then there's the big five, right? If you look at how digital payments, to the point that Anshu and Ashish were making a little while earlier from PayPal, 50% of internet users will use digital payments. 50% of consumer payment transactions will be non-cash, which for a market like India is like a revolution in the making. 50 million users will contribute 50% of spends via digital payments. Transactions on digital payments would be less than 100 rupees. A lot of those small transactions, typically like the stuff that you'd make to Reliance Jio going forward. And then the value that will flow through that is anybody's guess. Let's start with $500 billion, right? So that's the kind of so I know in many ways China is a rival to us, but it's that Chinese proverb, right? May you live in interesting times. We all are. So let's make the best of it. Having said that, our SMBs ecosystem has not kept pace. right? Which is why all of you are here in this room. All of you are reaching out in your own way to get people online, help them get onto apps, help them get online. And having a digital presence is critical for SMB growth, but it can be really, really tough for those who aren't, which is quite clearly one number that we perpetually talk about when we go to our partners is that everybody tells us there are 50 million SMB businesses in India, right? And then when you ask them how many are online, that number drops dramatically to saying, well, about 15 million are online. And when you ask for the definition of online, then there's only 2 million who have websites. And out of those 2 million websites, less than 20, 30% maybe, tops 30% are actually mobile optimized, right? But at the same time, we need to appreciate the fact that businesses find it really, really tough. It can be a daunting task. It's about putting in money, putting in effort, at a time when there's a rapid amount of reform and change going on in the country. And therefore, some of the things that you do in the market really, really help these businesses. So whether it's about building a digital presence, then getting noticed, then connecting online and offline, seeing how those conversions are coming to your offline business, and then there's paid advertising. So it's not easy for small and medium businesses. But when an SMB gets it right, then life changes, right? So I'll just run a quick video just to press home that point. Can you just run the video, please? Sorry, we'll just take 30 seconds. And I know many of you are looking at your phones, which is fine. It's better than dozing off. Anyone have a question yet? Because you can search it on your phone, on Google. But any other questions, anything?
My dad was always coming home smelling.
This is before Reliance Jio came in, right? You either got voice or you got picture, you didn't get both.
Why tree houses? Why not tree houses? Everybody loves a tree house. I'm James McCarthy. I'm a treehouse brother.
I'm Ryan McCarthy.
I'm the other treehouse brother. Yeah, we're fourth generation carpenters. My father was a carpenter.
His grandfather was a carpenter.
My dad was always coming home smelling like sawdust.
They were good kids. They didn't give me any trouble. I think we only went to the police station twice.
Before my kids were even born, we knew that we were going to build a treehouse. We had a great time doing it, realized it's something that we were good at doing, and it just became more than that. As it did, we started taking it more seriously.
He called me up one day and said, right, something's gonna happen with these tree houses. We gotta get in, we gotta be the guys in the area that people are gonna call for tree house.
At first, it was a very casual thing.
Treehouse Brothers sounds really good, doesn't it?
Within 1 week of being on Google AdWords, we started getting our first calls. Just really snowballed from there.
We're gonna have to get some more brothers.
Yeah. It's our only form of advertising. It's all about the web. It's all about getting out there. If you're not, you're left behind. That's what gets me hyped up about work, is the opportunity to be creative and do something that we haven't done before or that anybody's ever done before.
You can be anything you want up in a treehouse. You know, I think it's the place where your imagination can go.
Okay, so while the slides come back, I'll try that at the end of the session if we can show you an Indian version, which is this one. Can we run that, please? It's just a very short one. Or maybe if you can just loop it and keep it ready. Joel, should we? Just try otherwise. One last shot. Because I think that's more relevant. Of course, the treehouse business is something not many of us hear about in India, but if somebody had to get onto it and put it on Google, they can rest assured that's the kind of success they'll see, right? They don't need salespeople to go around pitching a business. It's just so much easier. Okay, we'll come back. If we get a shot later, that's what we'll do. Okay, no problem. Okay, so I was just making the point that going online is not going to be easy. A lot of businesses struggle with it. There are many moving parts to it. Internet literacy is something that we're working really hard on. You see a lot of it in the press. I'll cover a little bit when we get on with the presentation. But what will make it even more daunting for SMBs is the fact that the internet world moves really fast, right? So you've got mobile ubiquity. Mobile phones are everywhere. You've got streaming video, and then you heard some of our previous speakers talking about artificial intelligence and chatbots. So when you talk about mobile being everywhere, what exactly is the impact that happens in an SMB's mind, right? Consumers are searching in their preferred languages. You will see a lot of press going forward about how Google is also working on Indic language products, not just for content on the net and on YouTube, but also in terms of advertising products, AdWords that will come in 9 Indian languages. Bengali is already started. We'll go on to Tamil, Telugu, Gujarati, all the other languages. The highest index searches were for news, of course, Bollywood, religion, social networking, education, and of course, jobs. Content is catching up with demand. Again, like I was talking about Indian languages, and Hindi content consumption on websites is growing 5 times faster than English content right here in India. The new wave of users are driving growth. Over 1/3 of search queries are coming from outside the top 20 cities. So all of you, especially the ones who are driving apps, remember, and I'm sure you do, of course, that a lot of that opportunity is sitting outside the big populated areas, right? And then, of course, 30% of YouTube watch time is coming again from outside the top 20. Trends in 2016, because I know the numbers will look very different by the time another round of bloodletting happens in the e-com world. But 2016, digital obviously is the new mall. Air transactions, I think air travel transactions became really, really prominent about 5 years ago when Make My Trip and Yatra and Via.com took off. But then everybody else has got onto that. 1 in 5 car buyers are willing to consider booking a car online in 2016. Google ran a lot of AdWords campaigns for a lot of the auto manufacturers. They've seen tremendous success. One of the trends that we actually found was that people actually change their buying decision after they get onto the net and they research their cars. So originally, if you have a car in mind and then you go onto the net and you do your research, the number of people who actually change their mind is as high as 40%. People actually change that decision after they watch the videos. Same with real estate, right? So one of the biggest explosions we've seen as a relatively more organized set of advertisers is the real estate business. You have small brokers, you have builders, you have people who've got all kinds of housing as well as commercial space that are putting out stuff not just on AdWords but on YouTube as well, because you get a really good feel of the neighborhood of the place within the comfort of your home. And then talking about online payment methods, those are evolving. You saw we launched Tez recently. And you must have seen the news article that came out last week. In the first 48 hours, there were 5 million downloads of Tez, right? So people are really interested. And Tez hasn't even started doing what a lot of the traditional payment companies are doing, which is to enable utility payments and that kind of thing. That's going to come in the next few weeks. But just people-to-people transfer of funds is really, really taking off. So people also spend a lot of time watching video. Of course, it's a very, very effective advertising medium, like I was telling you. 20% of digital advertising dollars are now being spent on video. That's saying a lot. right? YouTube numbers across markets and especially in India are really, really flying. And then there's been a 300% improvement in video click-through over mobile. That's another very, really interesting. Also, online videos, right? So again, you're talking about 32% of users viewing videos to stay up to date with trends, 200% growth in watch time for Hindi news on YouTube. I mean, as if we'd not had enough, but it's there, right? And then comedy, of course, no life without comedy. So there is a new wave of content creators. There's a lot of action that we see even in our internal meets that we have where we invite YouTube creators. And obviously we don't we encourage a lot of new YouTube creators, people who are innovative, who are creative and not just, with all the bucks. We create those platforms for them, and we, even as employees, we see some really, really interesting creative stuff that comes out from right here. Okay, so making videos was one of the big things that is the feedback that we got from people who actually don't go to traditional media agencies to get their YouTube ads created. And Google is running a program where we are actually making it really, really simple for people to put out videos, to just create videos about their own business. You can do it on your phone. And I'll run this video. It's called YouTube Director, and it should be in India anytime now. How many people make movies on their mobile phones? Says the guy at the back who's making a movie right now. Okay. But you do make little films at home and everything, right? But you just see how easy it is to do it for a business. Sorry.
Video ad for YouTube. We're asking businesses to take part in the YouTube Director Video Challenge. So you guys ready for the...
Sorry. The start is really important. Thanks.
We're here today to show businesses how quick and easy it is to make a video ad for YouTube. We're asking businesses to take part in the YouTube Director Video Challenge. So you guys ready for the first part?
Sure.
Okay, so I want you to make a video about your business, film it,
Okay.
edit it, put it on YouTube in 20 minutes or less.
Can I cook instead?
No. Here we go, go. 20 minutes on the clock.
All right, no clue.
Welcome to my market, right?
All right.
Welcome to Pink.
A lot of times you would actually find
8 minutes, Sarah.
Oh, and I didn't press play.
Those are all 3-second videos?
Roberto.
Do you know how to edit a video?
Oh no, I'm trying to figure that out.
Can it be on YouTube in 10 seconds? 3, 2, 1. Oh no! So, how was the video?
yeah, it was hard.
Do you know when you shoot like this?
Oh, it's terrible.
I had no story, I had no concept.
Now I know why I became a barber and not a director.
Well, you did okay. You ready for part 2?
Yes, I am.
Okay, awesome. The exact same thing, but I'm gonna give you some help. Okay? So I'm gonna give you this, the YouTube Director for Business app. And it has all these templates on here, and this is gonna guide you through the entire video.
What?
Okay? And help you publish it to YouTube.
Really?
All right, so here's a template right here.
Short owner story.
20 minutes on the clock.
Okay.
Go.
Describe yourself.
Shot to talk about some products.
This is Dave, one of our awesome bartenders.
Hi, I'm Nadia Geller.
Welcome to Pink's Hot Dogs.
I grew up in an old barbershop like this.
Shot 5, explore what we have to offer. Variety of beautiful things for your home. Or online. Perfect.
All right, we're already at editing.
There's nothing to edit.
We nailed it? We're at 10 minutes.
I gotta add some music. Soundtrack to make the film.
I'm ready to publish.
Alrighty.
Whew, this was a lot easier.
1, 2, 3.
Woo!
Yes.
So easy.
It's like a big budget.
Woohoo! So much better.
I think that's great. How exciting. It walked you through it and gave you tips. Steps 1, 2, 3, 4. It was like as easy as ABC.
It was designed well.
Instant commercial. I mean, that's priceless.
The app works as the director.
Great. And how much did it cost you?
Nothing.
So easy, and then you can just publish it. We can use it as paid advertising on YouTube.
All around. Yeah. Making a great video.
Let's go play with the puppies.
Yes, let's go. Hey, puppies. Aww.
So like I said, YouTube Director will be in India very soon. Keep a lookout for that. Download the app. pass it on to your business partners. It's going to be fantastic. Okay, so like I was saying, chatbots and assistants, shopping will be the next wave of innovation to hit commerce. We need your help to make sure that SMBs are ready for the future of commerce. Please help businesses build mobile-friendly websites. Make sure you help them optimize, track effectiveness, encourage them to look at the measurement tools that are there, and of course, keep an eye for future trends. It's, I think, everybody's responsibility in this room, and I know I'm not asking for it to be done in a charitable basis. You will charge for it. By all means, do that. But at least do it with a clear conscience that, yeah, I actually helped a business come online, because that's where the next wave of, well, not the next wave, but all the consumers are. Our own commitment to grow the Indian ecosystem. There's a lot going on. I know you see a lot in the press. So here's just, if you can just read through it. Android skilling, 2 million developers trained by 2018. That's already up and running. It's happening at a really fast pace. Internet Sati, 300,000 villages by 2018. We've already done more than 100,000. More than 1 million Internet Sati ladies, enablers have already been trained across rural markets in India. We've done that with Tata Trusts. We are tying up with Fiki. There's a lot of stuff that Google is doing in that space. We want to reach 400 million local content internet users by 2020. And then we want to also make sure that there are 500,000 businesses trained by 2018, right? So there's a lot of stuff that's going in. Interestingly, India became the #1 market for Android users. We actually were not #1, but we overtook the United States a few months ago. That's huge. For YouTube, we're #2 worldwide. Maps, #2 worldwide already, right? So there's a lot of stuff that we are doing, and we ask that you join us in this journey. So like I said, I'm from the Channel Sales Partnership, and I just want to quickly take 2 slides. Am I good on time, Joe? Yeah. So just wanted to quickly introduce the channel sales business, 2 slides of it, and then we'll leave our coordinates with you. Unfortunately, Anant and I need to rush back to the airport, but our coordinates will be there and you can write into us. So I'll just explain this for people at the back. On this side, you've got the advertising spend per advertiser, and you've got the size of the businesses or the number of advertisers that are there. Obviously, as a company, we can't reach out to everybody who wants to advertise. And the way we are thing is, there is a direct sales team that looks after the large and mid-market. But for smaller businesses, we actually work through partners, and they are called channel partners or premier partners. It represents a strategic alliance with hand-picked top-tier companies. Top tier is not defined by how many lakhs or crores of rupees you have to spend. It actually means you're really good at what you do, and you have a reasonably good amount of customers who want to come online, and you want to be the enabler. And of course, you want to do that in a profitable way. You will market, sell, and service Google's digital advertising products alongside your own offering, of course, and help partners diversify, enhance, and expand the revenue base. So your typical characteristics of a Google channel partner: relationships with or access to local businesses, direct sales force, or if you have a really good tech platform that is monetized that people are using, congruent or complementary to your own product, and importantly, you have a commitment to building digital. Those businesses want to go digital, right? And half of that selling is something that you should be good at doing, knowing the kind of background you come from. We help you demonstrate value to your customers. Okay, so there's strategic advisory, technical. So every single channel partner that we have in the market has a dedicated strategic partner manager. So once you connect with Anant and he qualifies you as a channel partner, you have an opportunity to be looked after by a dedicated strategic partner manager. And the level of support that we give is astounding, right? And this is not just a superlative, I actually mean it. There's a lot of time and effort that we spend in really helping partners incubate and then accelerate and get into that business. And it's all the way. So it's not like you need to come, deposit money and pay for AdWords and that kind of thing. We give you a credit line, you establish your business, payment flows are taken care of. Your advertiser can either pay Google directly or through you. We try and make it as simple as possible. Anant was here yesterday at the pre-function event, which I believe was a lot of fun. How many of you were here yesterday evening? Okay. So Anant, my colleague, is here. His email ID is given here. He saves his mobile number for all spam calls, so you might as well email him. All right. Yeah. Thank you so much. I don't know if we have time for that video, or I think looping it will be a problem.